Hi, Stampers. I'm Sandy Harka. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for almost, but not quite 20 years. Today, our Stamp and Go is going to be using the Translucent Florals stamp set and dies. If you would like a free card kit for making these cards, you'll get enough supplies to make 2 of each. You can place an order for $35 using the host code below. And if you place an order for $50, then you'll get the card kit. Plus, you'll also get a pack of embellishments. Now, you'll get the embellishments that you need to make the cards in your free kit. The extra pack is just for you and your own projects. Now, you'll need to place those orders by August the 20th. So you have 1 week to do that. So if you are interested in that, get your orders placed within the week. Okay, let's get started. All right, this is the Translucent Floral stamp set that we're going to be using today. We're going to be making 3 cards, and let's get started with the first one. The first one looks like this, really fun and fancy. I love that new set of border dies that we have. These are online exclusives. That just means that they're not in the catalog and you'll have to go online if you want to see those. But all the supplies and the lists of measurements and the numbers for these products, that's all in the free document that you can get. And the link for that is in the general discussion section below this video. So as you're watching it, if you scroll down, you'll see that section down there. Okay, let us begin. So let's start by doing the stamping first. So we're going to be using these 2 stamps, and of course, those are your die cuts that we're going to be stamping on. Now we're stamping the flowers in Flirty Flamingo. So let's open that up. And when you use these stamps, they have all the shading built in. That's called distinctive. And so I find that it's better if you just tap, tap, tap so that you get it inked up, but you don't really press down real hard. That works better. Now I'm going to use my alternative stamping method, which means I turn my stamp upside down and also the die upside down and then place it over the stamp and then just press down gently over the whole stamp. And it comes out looking like that. All right, let's try. Let me wash this because we're going to use this again in a little while. Let's do the same thing with the other die cut and the other flower. This is the full flower. So I'm just tapping, turning the die cut upside down, and we're going to center that over the stamp. Press gently but firmly, and there is your stamp. So let me clean this one also. Again, we're going to be using this one again, so I just want to make sure when I grab it later that it doesn't have the Flirty Flamingo ink on there. All right, the next stamp that we're going to work on is the leaf stamp, and it looks like I have captured something underneath there, so let's get that off. Reattach the stamp. So this is the stamp that we're using, and for each card we're going to be doing 2. We're going to be stamping that in the garden green. And again, all this information will be in that PDF document that you can get for free. All right, so again, we're going to do the tap method. So tap, tap, tap. Turn this upside down, and I'm going to grab my die cut, turn it upside down like this, and place it over the stamp. Press down all over that, and there's 1. We have 2, so we'll tap, tap, tap. Upside down, turn your die cut upside down and place it over the stamp, press, and there's your second set of leaves. All right, let's clean this one. Lay that over to the side and close up our ink. Okay. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is start putting our card together. So we're starting with a card base of Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to raise the camera up a little bit. I think that will help visualize this a little bit better. All right, I'm going to use my bone folder just to give that edge a nice crease. The next piece that goes on is the piece that has that pretty edge on there. Elegant Borders is actually the name of the die set that comes in. So we're going to pop a little bit of glue on the outside here. Not going to put any over in this area. It doesn't really need it. So we're going to center this and give ourselves about just a tiny, tiny bit of the Flirty Flamingo showing on this edge, and then center it top to bottom. That gives us this nice, pretty edge over here. All right. The next piece that goes on is a piece of white that has been put through the painted folder. It's called Painted Texture. The reason I did a separate one is because he didn't want to mess up this pretty edge over here by putting it through the folder. So that's why I did a separate piece of white with our folder. So this was going all the way over to cover up everything except this part right here. So it comes all the way over to the edge of the white layer that you had down, and then it comes as far as it'll go on this side. Alrighty. The next thing that we will put on will be the leaves. So I'm going to start with this one at the top. We're just going to pop a little bit of glue on there. And I'm going to make sure that the edge of the leaves comes over here and it's just slightly covering a little bit of that border. Okay. Now the next set of leaves, I'm going to snip off the stem. We don't need the stem. And so I'm going to snip off that edge or that stem down there. And we're going to also bring these over to about right there. So it's just slightly covering up that edge, and press down. All right, we have two of our flowers here that we've stamped. And so we're going to pop on the centers. And I did those in gold foil. And that just gives you a little bit of pizzazz. So I have a glue dot here and I squished it up into a little ball. I'm going to stick that on the back side. Now this big one obviously goes on the full flower. So we're going to pop that right there. And we're going to grab another glue dot, squish that up into a little ball. And we're going to put the half one on the half flower. So we're going to pop that right there. Awesome. Now on the back of each of these, I'm going to put a dimensional. So that's how we're going to attach the flowers, is with the dimensional. And so the small one, or the half one, is going right up here. And I'm going to kind of lift this leaf up right here. Maybe. There we go. And just slip that under it slightly. Not a whole lot, just slightly. And it's kind of tilted a little bit in that direction. Same thing with our full flower. I'm going to slip that right under just that part of the leaf right there and press down. Perfect. We have a die cut. Now this came from the Textured Florals die set. I use this one a lot because I love this bud stem. We're going to actually cut this into about 4 pieces. You know, where I cut it is really not critical, but you can watch and see. I cut that top part out. So we're going to come down here. I'm going to cut this apart right here. Got a little dimensional hopper there. Those little things just follow you everywhere, don't they? And I'm going to snip this off right down here. So let me bring that back so you can see that it was right here. Like I said, it's not critical, but I'll show you where I'm cutting mine. And then I'm cutting this top part off right there. Okay. Now this big part, I am going to stick right here, and I am using glue dots to pop this on. So a glue dot here, going to grab this and put this on the back right here. And this part is going right under this flower. Now that's the reason I used dimensionals, because we were going to lift the flowers up so that we can tuck these little bud stems inside there. So I have another one here, and we're going to pop that one right up here at the top. So lift that up, that right in there. Now the next one is a little bit fatter. So we are going to stick that one. You know what? I have a little sprig here, so I'm going to snip that off and then tuck that one right here. So it's kind of out in the white area there. And we have one last one, and we're going to pop that one down here on the bottom with the leaves down here. So right about here. And since we're down here right now, let's grab that pretty little bow. It's already tied for you. And we're going to put a glue dot right there on the knot. And that will cover up the little stem right there and the bottom of your leaves. All right, the last thing that we have to pop on here will be this tiny little butterfly. And that comes from the sketched butterfly set. I like mixing some of the dies with different cards. Gives you many more opportunities to use those dies, and it just fits perfectly with this card. So now your card is ready for sending. All righty, let us get this cleaned up a little bit, and we will start on card number 2. Now, card number 2 looks like this. You can see I like that sparkly paper that we have. These come from the End Color glimmer paper set. So you get one of each of the end colors, and they are fabulous. They blend nicely with lots of our different colors. So this one is, I believe this one is the Summer Splash. All right, let us begin. So let's get our stamping done first. And I have a, I had a mat here. Here we go. Let's pop this here so you can see actually what I'm stamping on. And I'm using the You're the Best stamp, and I'm just going to stamp that in any black ink will work. I'm using Memento, but any black ink will work. And we're going to stamp that over a little bit towards the left, rock it slightly to get the top and bottom of all those letters. Cover up that ink because we don't need that any longer. And now we're going to work on our flowers. As you can see, we have the large and the small one again here also. This time we're going to use the Petunia Pop. Okay, let's ink that up. We're going to grab the full flower first. And remember, we're tapping, tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to use my alternate method, flip my die cut upside down and center that over the stamp. Press. And there is your, you can see I have ink all over me, don't I? I cannot stamp without getting ink all over me. All right, so I cleaned that up for another stamp. We're going to ink up the half flower. Tap, tap, tap. Flip our die cut to the back side. Now, if you stamp better the other way, the regular way, please feel free to do that. All right, and I'm going to clean this one up for another use. Close up our ink pad, and we have these. We're going to lay these over to the side. Now, while we do have the flowers here, we might as well go ahead and put on the centers. So I did the centers in silver foil. Yay, back silver foil. We were without that for quite a while, and now with the new annual catalog, we have it back. Yay. Just in time for Christmas. I adore using silver at Christmas. So you know I'm going to be happy. All right, another little glue dot right there. And that goes in the center of our half flower. Okay, now we can lay those over to the side. Get rid of our silicone mat. We're going to start building our card now. So we have a card base in Coastal Cabana. And we have a gorgeous, gorgeous piece of designer paper in, it's called Unbounded Beauty. It's a really pretty set. You can see the other side is just as pretty, so it is hard to decide which side of some of this paper you want to use. All right, we're going to snug this up about 1/8 of an inch from the left side and center it top to bottom. The next piece that goes on will be the Petunia Pop, and I put that through the dashing folder. You can see that as I tilt it right there. One of my favorites, and I think I've mentioned this in other Stamp and Goes, you will see this a lot because I like it and it goes well with many of the card designs. All right, we're coming over about 1/4 of an inch from the edge of that designer paper, centering it top to bottom, just adding a little bit of glue there. The next piece that goes on is a pool party, and it's a circle, and it's done with the deckled circle dies. Now this we're going to come over maybe 1/2 inch from the edge of your petunia and about 1/8 of an inch from the left side. Perfect. Now on the back of both of our flowers, we are going to put a dimensional. The bottom one is going to be the full flower, and that's going to come right down here at the bottom. You can tilt it a little bit slightly that direction. And the half flower is going to come up here, and we're tilting it a little bit towards the right side. There we go. Now you have a piece. We used the same die that we used for the first card, and we're going to cut this in half. And I don't think it really matters where, so we're going to snip this one right here and here, and where it looks like we're hooked up here. So let's chop that off. Awesome. All right. Oops, looks like I messed that up. All right, so we are going to tuck, I think I want to tuck the bigger one up here, just like that. So let's turn that to the back side. Grab a glue dot, and we're going to pump that right here and slip that right under. So now we have this pretty sprig of that glittery glimmer paper, and we're going to do the second piece, the piece that we chopped off, and we're going to tuck this over here at this side. Perfect. Now we've got glitter on both sides. The greeting is going to go on next, and you can either use glue or a glue dot with this. Actually, I'm going to use 2 glue dots because you don't want to sit here and wait for that glue to dry. And so I'm putting a glue dot on each end. Now we're going to slip this in, the end that has the most white, right under that flower and press down. Perfect. We have a little tiny butterfly, and again, that comes from the sketched butterfly set. I'm going to put a glue dot right on the tummy, and this is going to fly in towards the greenery, just like that. The last thing that we have to do is to put on the glimmery part, and that's always the best part for me. We're going to use 1 large regular rhinestone right here. We're going to use a medium size right here between the butterfly and the petunia paper, and 1 more medium size, and that's going right up here at the top. All right, there you go. Your card is ready for sending. I hope you enjoyed that one. I can't tell you which is my favorite out of this set because I really, really like both of them, or all 3 of them. All right, our third and easiest card is this one. I usually try to give you the easiest card at the end because if you start getting tired, you don't want to have a big challenge at the end, right? So again, this designer paper is from that Unbounded Love Designer Series paper, which is absolutely a stunning set. You'll use it lots and lots and both sides of it because all the sides are really pretty. All right, let us begin. Now this piece right here is what we're going to start with. And we are going to be stamping in white craft ink, and we're going to be using white embossing powder. So the first thing that I'm going to do is grab a catch card here, and I'm going to use my embossing buddy over that area where I'm going to be stamping. I'm going to use the Whisper White craft ink, which is a pigment ink. That's why it works well with embossing powder, because it doesn't dry really quickly. So we're going to touch, tap, tap, tap. And we're going to stamp right here, just like that. And then we are going to sprinkle with white embossing powder, just like that. Perfect. I'm going to dump this back in to the container, just so it doesn't blow all over. And then we are going to grab our medallion here that's been stamped. And if you have tweezers, this is a good time to use it. All right. And so we're going to start one side. You don't need to wiggle it around, because that doesn't really do anything for you. We're going to keep moving, and so as it turns shiny white, we're going to keep moving that all the way over until everything is shiny white. Awesome. Turn off our heat gun here. Set that over to the side for just a second and let that cool off. It only takes about 5 seconds or so to cool off. So we're going to, while it's doing that, we are going to grab our card base, which is pretty in pink. And we have a white layer that's going to go on next. So we're going to add a little bit of glue to the back side of that. We're going to center that right on there. We have about 1/8 of an inch of the pink showing all the way around. And next goes our designer paper. A little bit of glue there and center that. Isn't that paper pretty? You could just kind of leave it like that and it would be a beautiful card. All right, wonderful. Now this set, this die, this frame comes from a set called Wildflower Designs, and it is a simply stunning set in itself, and the dies are what I call to die for. I'm adding glue dots to this, by the way. It has a set of dies that work together. Both the outside frame and the inside part can all be used, and that just makes it doubly useful. So you'll see me using that a bit too this coming year. Now I put glue dots, as I mentioned, on the outside of the frame, and we're going to center that, kind of get that centered there. There we go. Touch down, make sure those are hooked in there. Now this is the piece that we stamped, and we're going to put glue on the back of that and slide that right into the frame. Perfect. Nice. Okay. Now we have a pretty silver that we're going to use for the center. And so I'm going to grab another glue dot and put that on the back and center that right here in the middle of our flower. And we have a pretty bow. This is done with the silver and white ribbon that carried over. So we're going to put a glue dot on the back of our knot there and center that right at the base of the flower. Perfect. And last but by no means least, we're using the iridescent faceted gems. A large one we're going to pop up here in this corner, and then we're going to use 2 small ones right here and right here. Okay, and your card is ready for sending. I really hope that you enjoyed the cards today. If you did and you would like a free card kit, to make these cards. You'll get supplies to make 2 of each of them. You can place your order for $35 using the host code below, and you need to do that by August the 20th. If you did enjoy these cards, we have live Zoom classes every weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Friday evening and Saturday and Sunday afternoons. You can get that information off my blog, sandylovesstamping.com. If you enjoyed the Stamp and Go, we meet here every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. If you liked it, please do like it and share it and subscribe to my channel. All right, I hope to see you here at the next Stamp and Go. Take care.